What if I told you that a city mentioned by ancient philosophers, dismissed as pure myth for thousands of years, might actually be sitting at the bottom of the ocean just 2 miles off the coast of Spain? And what if someone claims they've finally found it? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of history's greatest mysteries, the Lost City of Atlantis. For nearly 2,400 years, people have wondered, was it real? Was it just a story? And if it did exist, where is it now? In 2025, an archaeologist made a stunning claim that shocked the world. He says he found it. But before we get to that bombshell discovery, we need to understand the story from the beginning. Let's dive in. Our story begins in ancient Athens, around 360 BC. A famous philosopher named Plato wrote 2 books called Timaeus and Critias. And in these books, he told an incredible story. According to Plato, there was once a powerful island empire. It was located in the Atlantic Ocean, just beyond the Pillars of Hercules. That's what the ancient Greeks called the Strait of Gibraltar, the narrow water passage between Spain and Morocco. This empire was called Atlantis. Plato described it in amazing detail. He said Atlantis was huge, bigger than Libya and Asia Minor combined. The island had 3 rings of water surrounding a central island. There were grand palaces, temples, and harbors. The Atlanteans had advanced technology, a strong military, and incredible wealth. But here's where it gets interesting. Plato said Atlantis didn't last forever. According to the story, the Atlanteans became greedy and corrupt. They tried to conquer Athens and other lands, but Athens fought back and defeated them. Then, as punishment from the gods, something catastrophic happened. In just one night and one day, the entire island of Atlantis was struck by violent earthquakes and floods. The mighty empire sank into the ocean and disappeared forever. This supposedly happened around 9,600 BC. That's more than 11,000 years ago. But wait, where did Plato even hear this story? Here's what makes this mystery so fascinating. Plato claimed this wasn't just a story he made up. He said his grandfather told him. His grandfather heard it from an Athenian statesman named Solon, who lived 300 years before Plato. And Solon? He supposedly learned it from an Egyptian priest during his travels to Egypt. So if we follow the chain, this story was already ancient by the time Plato wrote it down, and that Egyptian priest claimed it happened 9,000 years before his time. This raises the big question. Was Plato sharing real history? Or was he just creating a fictional story to teach a lesson about power and corruption? Even in ancient times, people debated this. Plato's own student, Aristotle, apparently joked that his teacher could conjure nations out of thin air and then destroy them. Basically, Aristotle thought it was made up, but another follower named Crantor believed Atlantis was real. For centuries, Atlantis was mostly forgotten. But then, in 1882, something changed everything. An American politician named Ignatius Donnelly published a book called Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. Donnelly argued that Atlantis was a real, advanced civilization. He claimed its people spread across the world, influencing ancient cultures in Europe, Africa, and the Americas. His book became a huge bestseller. Suddenly, everyone wanted to find Atlantis again. Since then, over 100 different locations have been proposed. The Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Antarctica, even Sweden. But here's the thing. No one has ever found definitive proof. Until now, maybe. So what do you think so far? Real or myth? Drop a comment below. Let's look at the 4 main theories that scientists and historians take seriously. Theory 1. Santorini, Greece. This is probably the most popular theory among actual scientists. The Greek island of Santorini, also called Thera, was home to an advanced civilization called the Minoans, around 1600 BC. Here's what happened. A massive volcanic eruption destroyed most of the island. We're talking one of the biggest eruptions in human history. The explosion created huge tsunamis that devastated nearby civilizations, including potentially contributing to the collapse of Minoan culture on Crete. The evidence is strong. There's an ancient city called Akrotiri buried under volcanic ash. It had advanced architecture, beautiful art, and sophisticated plumbing systems. Sound familiar? The problem: Santorini is in the Mediterranean, not the Atlantic Ocean where Plato said Atlantis was. Also, the timeline doesn't match. Plato said 9,600 BC, but this happened around 1600 BC. That's an 8,000-year difference. Still, many scholars think Plato might have used this real disaster as inspiration for his story, but changed the location and time period. Theory 2. Cadiz, Spain, the 2025 discovery. All right, here it is, the discovery everyone's talking about. In July 2025, an archaeologist named Michael Donnellan made a stunning announcement at the Cosmic Summit Conference. After 6 years of research, he claims he found Atlantis just 2 miles off the coast of Cadiz, Spain. And get this, Cadiz is the oldest city in Western Europe. The ancient Greeks knew it as Gades, and Plato specifically mentioned that Atlantis was near the region the Greeks called Gades. Donnellan used advanced underwater sonar scanning technology. What did he find? 3 concentric circular walls carved into the seabed, rectangular ruins in the middle, carved canals. The structures appear to be about 11,000 years old. In his documentary trailer, Donnellan said, "It matches everything Plato says verbatim. I have seen these structures with my own eyes. I have touched them with my own hands." But here's the catch. The full documentary hasn't been released to the scientific community yet for peer review. Many archaeologists are skeptical. They want to see more evidence, more analysis, and independent verification before accepting this claim. Is this the real deal? Or another false alarm? Only time will tell. Theory 3. Mauritania/Morocco, the Risha structure. This one is wild. In the Sahara Desert in Mauritania, there's a massive geological formation called the Rishat structure. From space, it looks like a giant bullseye. It has multiple concentric rings, just like Plato described. The structure is about 25 miles across. Some researchers think this could have been Atlantis before the Sahara became a desert. They argue that ancient sea levels were different, and this area could have been near water. The problem: geologists have proven the Risha structure is a natural rock formation created by erosion, not a man-made city. There's no archaeological evidence of a civilization there. And it's landlocked, not an island. Still, the visual similarity is pretty mind-blowing. Theory 4. The Azores Islands. The Azores are a group of Portuguese islands about 900 miles west of mainland Europe, sitting in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Some researchers believe these islands could be the mountain peaks of a sunken Atlantis. The theory suggests that the rest of Atlantis lies underwater on the surrounding ocean floor. There have been claims of underwater structures and unusual rock formations around the islands. The problem: ocean floor mapping hasn't revealed any ruins. Geological evidence shows these islands formed from volcanic activity, not from a continent sinking. Still, the location matches Plato's description better than most theories. So, which theory makes the most sense to you? Let me know in the comments. Team Santorini, Team Spain, or do you have another idea entirely? Besides the 2025 Cadiz discovery, there have been other fascinating developments in recent years. In November 2025, archaeologists discovered a medieval submerged city in Lake Issyk-Kul in Kyrgyzstan. It's not Atlantis, but it shows that lost cities underwater do exist. This 525-year-old city was destroyed by an earthquake and has been underwater ever since. Also, in 2025, researchers found mysterious geometric formations on the ocean floor that some believe could be older than the Egyptian pyramids. Scientists are still studying these structures to understand what they are. Technology is getting better every year. We have better sonar, better diving equipment, and better satellite imaging. If Atlantis is out there, we have a better chance of finding it now than ever before in history. But here's something important to remember. Just because we haven't found definitive proof yet doesn't mean we should stop looking. Many mythical places turned out to be real. The city of Troy was thought to be purely legendary until archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann found it in 1870. The ancient city of Helika in Greece was considered a myth until it was discovered underwater in 2001. So, who knows, maybe Atlantis is next. So, what's the bottom line? Was Atlantis real? The honest answer is, we don't know for sure. Most mainstream historians and archaeologists believe Plato created a fictional story to teach lessons about power, greed, and the dangers of corruption. It was a cautionary tale, not a history lesson, but others believe there's a kernel of truth behind the legend. Maybe Plato heard about a real disaster, like the Santorini eruption, and expanded it into his philosophical story. And then there are researchers like Michael Donnellan, who are convinced they've found the actual ruins and are working to prove it. Here's what we do know. The mystery of Atlantis has inspired countless explorers, scientists, and dreamers for over 2,000 years. It reminds us that our ancient past still holds secrets, that beneath the waves and sands there might be incredible discoveries waiting to be found. Whether Atlantis was real or imaginary, the search for it has led to amazing archaeological discoveries and advanced our understanding of ancient civilizations. And isn't that pretty cool? All right, now I want to hear from you. Do you think Atlantis was real? If yes, where do you think it is? Spain? Greece? Somewhere we haven't looked yet? Drop your theories in the comments below. And here's a fun question. If you could explore one location searching for Atlantis, where would you go and why? If you enjoyed diving into this mystery with me, smash that like button and subscribe for more unsolved mysteries from history. Hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and remember, the past is full of mysteries, and sometimes the myths become reality. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring.